the 2024 Skoda Kodiaq has formally arrived after a meticulously lengthy mystery crusade. A more open option to the 2024 Volkswagen Tiguan, the moderate-sized SUV embraces a developmental exterior plan joined with a redesigned interior that spotlights on screens, but without taking out every traditional control. Very much past due, a modular half-breed powertrain is at last accessible as a feature of a more extensive cluster of updates ready for the subsequent age. Beginning on the outside, Skoda has extended the Kodiaq by 2.4 inches, 61 mm, to accomplish a general length of 187.3 in, 4,758 mm, while watching out for the wheelbase, at 116.9 in, 2,971 mm. Somewhat surprising for a new-age vehicle, width has diminished by 0.7 in, 18 mm, to 73.3 in, 1864 mm, while level is somewhere near 0.6 in, 17 mm, compared with the model it replaces, presently at 65.3 in, 1,659 mm. The Czech fair-size SUV is accessible with a wide cluster of composite wheels in sizes from 17 to 20 inches, alongside 9 tones, including another shade called Bronx Gold Metallic. Sitting at the highest point of the reach, the Sportline trim has a liberal cluster of dark accents, including totally dim D-points of support, which is interesting. The rooftop rails, window outlines, side mirror covers, front grille and compass, back diffuser, and identifications generally come in dark. Go for the leader variation, and Skoda will fit Sportline identifications on the front bumpers alongside elite 19-inch wheels with a gleaming anthracite finish or a discretionary 20-inch set with air covers. The new Kodiaq takes on a developmental plan tidied up with a backlight bar on the grounds that, obviously, all vehicles should have won by 2023, including its sister model from Wolfsburg. Talking about lighting, Skoda is introducing its second-age network Drove Tech for the headlights, which currently have 50% more light components and convey 15% more light. These more intelligent headlights are standard on the Sportline and can be joined by an even light bar across the grille. Venturing inside, the progressions are quickly recognizable. We're not simply discussing the large showcase, since there are extra adjustments. First of all, the stuff selector presently sits on the guiding section to make more space between the front seats. There's less switchgear than before, since Skoda has introduced savvy dials in the mid-control area. True to form for a family-accommodating enormous SUV, the Kodiaq is stacked with treats, for USB-C ports with 45W power, another USB-C with 15W incorporated into the rearview reflector, 9 speakers, the 14-speaker Canton sound framework is discretionary, and inductive charging, 15W, with a cooling capability for 2 cell phones. Rubbing front seats are accessible, similar to another environment control menu that is not difficult to get to, despite the fact that most actual buttons are currently gone. Inspiration is given by a variety of burning motors, beginning with a 1.5 TSI gas unit profiting from gentle half-breed innovation. It runs on the mill operator cycle and benefits from a variable calculation turbocharger. The motor produces 148 pull, 110 kilowatts, and has an advancement of the VW Gathering's dynamic chamber innovation to shut down chambers and save fuel when the additional power isn't required. For significantly more prominent productivity, the powertrain upholds brake energy recovery, and the SUV can kick off the gas motor switched off. On the off chance that you really want more punch, the 2.0 TSI has 201 horsepower, 150 kilowatts, and comes with all-wheel drive, while the 1.5 TSI is offered exclusively with front-wheel drive. People who actually need a diesel motor can get a 2.0 TDI with 148 horsepower, 110 kilowatts, and FWD or 190 horsepower, 142 kilowatts, and AWD. No matter which one you pick, a 7-speed DSG brings capacity to the street. The huge news is a module crossover based around the 1.5 TSI with 148 horsepower, 110 kilowatts, and joined with an electric engine for a complete framework result of 201 horsepower, 150 kilowatts. There's a lithium particle battery load with a limit of 25.7 kilowatt-hours, which Skoda says is enough for an electric range of 62 miles, 100 kilometers. When drained, the battery can be charged at 11 kilowatts of AC or up to 50 kilowatts of DC. True to form, reasonableness endures a shot, as the Kodiaq IV has a freight limit of, as it were, 745 liters. That is 165 liters, not exactly the standard 5-seat model. It ought to be noted that Skoda will sell the electric version strictly with front-wheel drive and a 6-speed DSG. After 841,900 units sold, the Kodiaq is progressing to the second era to build up its position as Skoda's smash hit SUV. Going marked down in Europe right on time, 1 year from now, is booked. While the external ones permit the driver and traveler to change the inside temperature, sat warming, and seat ventilation, the middle presentation can be adjusted to show 4 distinct capabilities: infotainment framework volume, fan speed, air heading, and brilliant cooling. The other elements are accessed through the standard 10-inch infotainment or the discretionary 13-inch arrangement. The driver has a 10-inch computerized instrument cluster that can be supplemented by a discretionary, cutting-edge head-up display. Reasonableness is unequaled in this fragment. Think if you now have 910 liters without bringing down the back seats in the 2-line model, or 75 liters more than previously. Crease them down, and the limit develops to an incredible 2,105 liters, which is 40 liters more than the original Kodiaq. Pick the 7-seat model, and the freight volume remains at 340 liters behind the third line, or 70 liters more than previously. Overlap the third column, and you have 845 liters, an increment of 80 liters. The greatest freight limit of the 3-column model has jumped by 30 liters to 2,035 liters. Furthermore, this 7-seat model additionally has an extra 0.6 in, 15 mm, of headroom for rearmost tenants.